Hi guys, welcome to my channel, and today we are going to learn like the basics of SpriteKit by creating a simple game like Tic Tac. So for today we'll be just learning how to put in, the crosses and the knots, and even if I click like 2 or 3 times, it's not going to change because obviously the player um, once he has jotted down something, you don't want it to change. So this is what we'll be doing for now. So let's go ahead and create a new project. So we are going to create a project, and we are going to go next. We are going to name that Tic Tac Toe game, maybe. Anything, basically, whatever you guys want to name. Oh, no. Okay, let me just name something else. I hope. Yes. So, this is done. Now you can, just have a look at whatever is already available to you. Basically, if I just explain you, so here this is the game scene, right? So in game scene is where whatever you'll be doing here is what will be shown in the device, right? So I'll just quickly change that to iPhone X because I already have an iPhone X simulator. So the main thing is that whatever is shown here will be shown in the simulator. So this is basically the output screen kind of. And the view controller, or the file that controls this scene is known as gamescene.swift, right? So here are some set of codes, and now you need to initialize like which scene you want to use. So that is done in game view controller, right? So here, as you can see, game scene is there, and that's how it's getting called. Now if I just run this, so as you can see, there's like hello world, and there are some predefined stuff, but yeah, it's getting stuck because it's in simulator. So that is what is already there, but we want to start like new. So what we are going to do is that we're going to remove this hello. Oh, sorry. We're going to remove this by pressing the delete button, and after that we're going to go to game scene, and we're going to remove all these things that are already defined, but we don't require all that. So I'm going to use touches began, so I'm going to keep it as it is. Now remove that and remove that. So now it's clean and clear. Now we're going to go to game scene, and we are going to put in some things so that we can see it as an output. Now if you can see in the objects library, there are few things here. You can have a look, but what we require in this whole game is just color sprite. So basically color sprite is going to help you to add in color, to add in an image, to put in some properties. So the properties we won't be touching for now, but we are going to use image and the background feature, so the color feature, that is. Now we're going to take a color sprite, and we are going to place it here, so that it covers the whole whole view controller. The basic thing why I'm doing this is because if you remember that when we did when we ran the hello world program, at that time the background was black, and we just had a label, the hello label, I mean the hello world label. So I don't want the background to be black. I wanted it to be of different color. So maybe you can put any other color, but I'm gonna put in like a white color. So this is gonna make the background of the app to be white. So you can have a look. Now that's a background. Okay, so maybe we can name that as background, right? This is the background. Now next thing that we need to add in is the base. So if you remember, so I think it was this. So if you can see, this is like the board where things are gonna be jotted down, right? The crosses and the knots. So so in order to put this board, I'm gonna just place a color sprite, and I'm going to just keep it here, right? So I'll center that. Now, the next thing we need to add in, let's name this as well. Let's name this as board. Okay. Now, we need to add in the assets here so that we can use those images in the color sprite. So let me just go there and let me just copy the images and right. So just drag and drop it here. I'll provide all these images in the description box below, so you don't have to worry. Now, next, after doing this, when you go back to the game scene, you'll get to see that this now can have the board image, right? Now, obviously, this is too big, so I'm going to make it 678 and 678. Now it's a perfect board. Now this is done. So the next thing that we have to add in is the place where X and naught should appear. So we can only do that by adding it color sprite to it. So just drag the color sprite and add it in here, and after that, okay, so let me just put the size. Okay, let me make it 170 by 170 and just place it in the right place, maybe a little this side and a little low. Accordingly, you can just adjust it. I'm gonna keep this white. Okay, now you can copy color sprite again, but you have to keep on changing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna copy it, and I'm gonna paste it like 8 more times. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, right? So just drag and drop it here in its places, adjust it accordingly. Adjust it accordingly, and you can just have traverse through it and see if the position is fine. Okay, now let's name all this. So basically, why are we naming things is this: if we name them, we can refer them in gamescene.swift. So things become much more easier, and we can manipulate it accordingly. Okay, so just two. So all of them are named now, and now we can change them in gamescene.swift. So basically, there are lots of images to handle. So what I'm doing is that I'm adding them to an array, and in that way, it will be much easier for me. Okay. So let's say we are going to make an array known as exos. So the crosses and the knots. And I'm going to initialize them in the form. This is an array. This bracket basically means it's an array. And I'm going to put in sk sprite node. So basically, if you have a look at the sprite node, the node that draws rectangular texture, image, or color, and that is what exactly we require, because our images, our color sprites will be consisting of images. So this is what we require, and let's declare it to be empty. Okay, so that we can use it later on, and we can just directly append instead of doing some special things. So you can put in like xos dot append contents of, so here you're going to put self dot child node with name 1, right? So this is how things are gonna work. You're gonna copy this and paste it basically 8 more times. So okay. Okay, so yeah, I think this is more better. We can copy this. So now quickly change it. Now, the next thing that we have to do is in touches began, we have to detect whether a touch has occurred or not, right? And that too in region where it should be like falling within the region of this array. Okay, so basically if you remember the color sprites here, if the touches happen in all these color sprites, then only the touch should happen. So we'll test that out now. Okay, so there are many touches that are being detected, so we are going to handle all of these touches one by one. Okay, and for touch in touches, again for we can refer to all this by either way, but I'm referring it using I. You guys can do it in different forms. There are many forms to do a for loop for an array, right? So xos xos dot count -1, because the count will be like 9 and it should go only till 8, from 0 to 8. Now this is done. The next thing is that we need to get the location. So let location equal to touch dot location in UI view, that is self. Okay, so you guys can try both. I think both of them works the same, like UI view and sprite node. The next thing that we have to do is after this we are going to check if this location is within our the region that I just explained. So if xos I, of course, dot location contains CG points. So basically, if you have a look at this, it will be returning a CG point, right? So this location is basically a CG point. So we are going to add it in here, right? So if it detects any movement within that location, like within that color sprite, we are going to print it. So just to detect a touch, right? So let's see how this works. So it's saying it's touch. So if I press, so let's do this. If I press anywhere else, it does not detect. But if I press only here, it detects, which means this is working. Okay. Now, once this is done, we have to do a few more other things. Let's say we want to add in the X's and the knots. So let's do that now. So let's pick up a player, right? So where player equal to 0, right? It's initialized as the first player. Now, if player equal to 0, then what are we gonna do? We are going to add in the texture. So xos dot texture. Now we need to assign a texture, right? But what are we going to assign to? We don't have any texture declared, like a variable declared. So we need to declare that variable here. Let's say where cross, or yeah, just let's say cross is sk texture, right? And we'll just keep it optional for now, and we are going to declare it here, cross equal to, yeah, so cross equal to sk texture cg image, but we are going to go for image name to be string. Things get much more easier. So the name of that is, I think, X. Right, we'll have a look. Now, once this is declared, let's keep this with this texture, and we are going to make player to be equal to 0. Oh, sorry, 1. Okay, and then else. So else, what are we gonna do? So we have the cross, but we don't have the knot. So let's add in a knot. Okay, knot sk texture, and again not equal to sk texture image named 0. Okay, now what are we gonna do here? Again, xos I dot texture equal to not. Okay, and we're going to make the player to be equal to 0, right? Now this is done. Let's have a look. So if you, oh, now basically if you go back here in the game scene, you'll notice one thing. All these, so basically board is on the first layer, right? On the Z. And here, same Z position they are on. So sometimes it gets confused whether to show this before or to show this behind it. So we are going to make sure that this shows in front, and we're going to name this as 1. Same goes for here. We're going to put this as 1. Now let's have a look. So, oh, now it should appear. Just to confirm, let's run one more time. So it's working fine. So I hope you understood that bug, why it's occurring. Like in any other language, you'll see that whatever is placed on top, it falls in that hierarchy, like that is on top of one on top of the other. If you see in Swift, it works like that. But in SpriteKit, you have to actually say that what is on the background, what is on the foreground, and you have to change to the z-axis accordingly. Okay, I hope that's clear. But you'll get to see one more problem. You can change it, so we don't want that, right? So in order to fix that, we have to declare an array. Let's say var marked. Okay, var marked to be of type int. Now let me make it all 0. So now it's declared as 0, and we will see that once it's marked, it is not gonna go back again there. Okay, so so let's put a condition: marked I. Okay, marked I equal to 0, then only move forward with this. Okay, or else don't. Now once it's done, how are we going to mark it? So we are going to mark it here, I to be equal to 1. Okay, and same goes here. If it is marked as not, then we are going to do the same thing, no partiality. So let's see if this works. So you can't change it anymore, and you know, it will be placed accordingly no matter how much we try to change it. Okay, so I'll end the lecture here for now. In the next tutorial, I'll explain you the further steps. So please write down your queries and the problems that you're facing in the comment section below. I'll be uploading the next tutorial as soon as possible, so stay tuned and do subscribe to my channel if you think you can, learn something new. See you soon. Bye bye.